All right. So another day, another rumor mill full of rumors and yeah, clickbait articles and the whole nine yards. Social media in that show for you. Um, so with this, let's talk here today. We are going to jump into the leaker rumor mill that is a PS5 Pro, and um, as you can see over here, that there is like a stat sheet that somebody threw up that basically Digital Foundry has done something on. Also, make sure hit that subscribe button, and it definitely helps out in the long run. I know I'm kind of just throwing it out there, but yeah, it definitely would help. Anyways, so leaker rumor mill stuff, we hear about it every single day, 1,000 times a day. I have a piece of information. No, this is another leak information. This one, Tom Henderson to a PlayStation Insider to a PlayStation Underground or whatever. Yeah, everybody's got some information, a leak or rumor or something, whatever else. So this one is from another account. Let's see here. So they are talking about features that will be a part of the PS5 architecture, hardware, and what it can end up doing. So you can see that a lot of it is blacked out, and because of that, again, I don't know if I fully trust this stuff. We haven't heard one even teaser from Sony, PlayStation, whatever you want to say. And it's funny that the discourse right now is like, if you don't believe that there's a PS5 Pro in the works, then you're an Xbox fanboy. And if you do, then you're kind of, like, oh, when is it? Oh my God. People are starting to chomp at the bits for a new console, even though there's, a good chunk of people that are still on the PS4. Yeah, and then there, of course, you have YouTubers, all day, every day, just making videos about, oh my God, there's another piece of information. Oh my God, we saw something else. Yeah. So this is saying double ray trace, intersect engine, ray trace, instant mode, node transform, 64-bit ray trace node, ray tracing, tri-pair optimization, change flags and code with a lot of big words. So the thing with this is anybody could go into Photoshop and just make this end up happening. I could write something over here being like, engine slash this does better than Xbox or something. I could write anything on this. This thing right here can keep up a PC. Ha ha. Again, this is the reason why I take this stuff with the smallest grain of sand, salt, whatever you want to say, because I've seen this for years, literally decade, over a decade. I've seen all these like leaks and everything. The whole big thing about like the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to come out by the end of the year. Well, we are getting very close to the end of the year, and they should be starting up like a marketing campaign of some kind, so then they can end up selling consoles for Christmas time, because Christmas time is, it would be a high chance of people buying stuff at Christmas time for their kids, for their loved ones, you name it, or themselves. So again, is this going to be pushed off to 2025? And maybe I would say, if anything, if the PS5 Pro is a real thing, and I'm not 100% saying it is. Apparently, there's been devs working on a pro patch, pro upgrade for games that adds some more, significance to all of this, the legitimacy of all this information. Am I 100% on board with it, that it is absolutely happening? No, because I haven't heard anything solidly officially from the source itself. I've just heard people that is like, I know someone who is saying this thing about the thing. That is such just so yeah. So Digital Foundry, they did a whole video on this, so let's just watch a little bit of it.
Interesting. It looks like the specific ray tracing enhancements for RDNA 4 and therefore the PlayStation 5 Pro have leaks via the usually reliable Kepler_L2 on.
See, here is the problem with usually reliable. These people post so much clickbait shit. It's unreal. Even Digital Foundry does it too. If you actually look at the actual posts, you can see right here, 48,000 views, 398 likes. Now, there's a thing there's a reason why I question this, because there's a thing called X Premium, and just for posting whatever on the Twitter platform, you get paid for it through get paid to post through AdSense revenue. Half ads in for you and but anyways, you get paid off from ad rev for doing that. If they have Premium Plus, yeah. Let's see here. Does this person have? It doesn't look like they have a blue check mark, so maybe they're not getting paid. But just on the fact that, I mean, that's a little bit more legitimacy to it. But at the same time, they could just be wanting, the clicks for just the clout of posting something like this. They do. It seems like they are a big, RDNA fan. They follow a lot of AMD stuff, and they're talking a lot about all the architecture of all these processors and everything. So again, it is a little bit more legit there, but at the same time, it's like, boy, I have a hard time believing anything that is news, sort of news. It's like rumor leaker mill stuff.
X.com.
Oh, and especially this video right here also has 9,300 views on it, going up by the minute. And that also would get Digital Foundry paid for just posting about this stuff.
.com. Obviously, some pretty hardcore tech stuff here. Alex, could you decode this for us and let us know what we should be expecting in terms of improvements?
Well, okay, there's a good number of things in here. One thing to point out, I think, just at the get-go, is that these do not detail. These are just a limited set of improvements. There's a couple other ones that have been blacked out. It's a bit annoying with this whole leaking stuff, is that people just love holding on to information. But, this doesn't include the whole list of improvements to what RDNA 4 is. And it doesn't talk about...
apparently, it says here that Kepler is saying that it's non-RT features that have been blacked out here.
Right.
So why would you black them out? And that's actually where I will give slight credit to Digital Foundry here. They're like, well, why would you black that out? And again, to me, it's like, if you're blacking out some stuff, but I mean, if it's not RT features, then basically that would be just the same hardware that's already in the PlayStation 5 to begin with. So what's the need to black it? It just, this seems very kind of fishy, as all these rumors do.
Okay. Also, it doesn't technically... it's not necessarily encompassing everything. There could potentially be more than what is on this list. So don't just take everything here as 100%. The one interesting thing is the first one to mention is double ray tracing intersect engine. RDNA 2, 3, and I guess now 4 seems to be using the system where they repurpose texture units and use them as ray tracing accelerators to do the AABB intersection tests, as well as the triangle intersection tests as a part of ray tracing. So it's like the smaller part of ray tracing that is expensive to do otherwise without it, but them doubling that performance does actually call back a little bit to what the kind of leaked documents from Sony say, where you can expect a 2 to 4 just base improvement. And I think some of that reference,
again, is this actually from Sony, or is this just some people posting some stuff up so they can get ad rev click? Again, I don't trust anything unless I hear it directly from the actual source itself. Is this all tying together sort of? Again, it does make it seem more plausible, but why isn't Sony? I mean, okay, so the big word is like, we bet you Sony's going to hold back the PS5 Pro until next year. Well, half of your rumor leaker mill stuff says otherwise, the other half. So basically, it's almost like conflicting information that does not agree with each other. It's like politics. And like, what is the actual deal of the thing? Again, this is the reason why I don't really go into detail on all this stuff a lot, because it is just rumor, speculation, leaks a lot. 9 times out of 10, You know, a lot of most everyone who has YouTube videos, they will say, "Well, leaks 9 times out of 10 are spot on correct," and that's because they're trying to make videos to get ad rev, to make you come back and make you click on videos again and again and again. That's their whole business. That's their whole gimmick. That's their whole shtick. Digital Foundry is not different in that aspect. Also, not calling Digital Foundry liars. I'm calling them kind of gullible for believing every piece of information that's out there on the internet. I do like Digital Foundry. I think some of this, most of their work is really good, but some of it can be a little hearsay. And that's what I'm really getting off from this. It's on the same level. So I have some GTA stuff up on here too. Actually, really quickly. So apparently this is another part of the podcast.
Other than the developer disclosure. We're still talking about PlayStation 5 Pro. It's just not going away, is it, at this point?
Rich, I saw a bunch of people in the comments saying it's not real. You guys just keep talking about it. It's definitely not real. What are you talking about? And I'm like,
this thing's real.
We know
as
it's
heck.
real. It's absolutely 100% real.
This news story kind of confirms it's real, other than the developer disclosures that are on DevNet right now.
No, a news story does not say it's real. Yeah, exactly. Until it's announced, it's not real. If you're truly a gamer, you know how devastating it is when a leak isn't real. More often than not, developer employees leaking dev kits, so many things get leaked that never happened. Yes. And somebody's trying to call clown on it. No, that happens so much more than projects actually get made, which is the really funny part. If you actually listen to devs and not YouTubers and leaker rumor mill people, the stuff that ends up getting put into works. So, I mean, Rockstar is a huge one for this. Also, again, it's something like this here. The rumor reportedly $500 million for exclusivity. They just bought, source. What? The source is, I made it the fuck up. It's kind of like what you end up seeing a lot of the times. There was, and again, people was really, so this one also, really, it's just like so deliver pizzas. Oh my, October 4th. Guess what? The next trailer 2 for Rockstar Games is October 4th. Like, no, it might be, but no, I don't think so. Just because, and this is, again, it's accounts like GTA 6 Countdown or GTA Countdown. That is the most ridiculous accounts ever, because it is literally just rumor mill stuff. Seemingly cheese GTA 6 trailer 2's date on a pizza scooter, October 4th, written on the plate. Oh my, the artwork on the right is a concept that we obviously based upon a teaser. Again, when it comes to social media, when it comes to YouTubers making videos and everything, and I know I'm a YouTuber making a video right now, but you gotta be careful and take everything with a grain of salt. The reason why I'm saying that I don't trust all these, rumor mill, leaker mill stuffs and everything is because, I've seen so many times where there's only 3 types of rumors that actually comes true. One is kind of Resident Evil stuff, which even some of that stuff is kind of hearsay bullshit that gets changed. And that's the thing too. The gaming industry changes stuff. Within 3 months, everything can be scrapped or totally changed around. And then all of a sudden a release date gets pushed back, that much farther because something wasn't working in this one spot and they can't figure out, because it's just going to make everything, just tumble down in the game engine and all that stuff. And so what ends up happening is that they go, we can't figure out how to fix this one thing, push it back. Okay, we need 3 months extra to do bug fixing and all that stuff. That's a major thing that ends up happening. Resident Evil, Call of Duty rumors, and Game Pass stuff is kind of like the 3 things where, sure, those rumors are usually legit every single time, but that's because the companies are. So Capcom just has a lot of, they're pretty non-secure with their information. They just have a lot of people that release stuff. When it comes to Call of Duty stuff, I think Activision for years has been like, we'll just sprinkle out the information, get people try to get people hyped up for the next Call of Duty. And when it comes to Game Pass stuff, Xbox literally pushes that information out there themselves, and then people pick it up, within conference calls and everything, because Game Pass, Microsoft is publicly traded. So if you listen to the conference calls, Microsoft is like, oh, we're paying for this, we're paying for that. Now, $500 million to get GTA 6 on the Game Pass exclusively, when Sony has been like one of the main platforms, and they just bought Activision for billions some odd dollars. I don't see that being a real thing. It could be. Maybe they saw it off in the conference call. It very well could be. But Activision has already kind of broke the bank, or Microsoft has broke the bank with Activision, the acquisition and everything, which cost them 10 times more than what they ever thought it would, or anybody thought it would. So when it comes to all this PS5 Pro stuff, the biggest question in the room is the thing actually even real? And just because Digital Foundry is trying to, keep the videos going and keep people interested in their podcast and everything, being like, it's totally real, it's 100% real, we have talked to developers. Okay, here's the real question I have for Digital Foundry then. If you're talking to developers that are underneath an NDA working on any project, and even a beta test, you have an NDA where you can't say anything to the public about it, and you're saying something that you heard from a developer about, oh, this thing is totally real, Sony could sue you for breach of contract. They could sue you. They could sue the person who's working on it. They could sue whoever has a dev kit that leaked the information out. Especially with this stuff here, there's NDAs on all this stuff. So that's the reason why I'm very skeptical on just the legal behind the scenes of it. I'm just very I don't see how you could actually put all, especially confirm it like that before Sony has even confirmed it. I'm a little iffy on that. That seems a little, and the really kind of the really bad part about this too is if it is all legit and these rumors and leaks and everything has happened, and we know exactly what the console is going to be. We know what games are going to have a PS5 Pro enhancement patch and all that stuff. How bad is that when we could have the surprise of it, of all of a sudden Sony State of Play and everybody's like it? Yes, people are going to be that way of oh, there's a Sony State of Play. All right, let's go. Let's do it. But when PlayStation and the hard work of the folks at PlayStation that have been working on this console, if they are working on PS5 Pro, because in my book, right now, the PlayStation 6 is a real thing. The PS5 Pro, PlayStation 6 would be more of a real thing with the dev kits being around for that than the PS5 Pro. And the reason why I say that is because my gut feeling says we're going to see a PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox console, and I think that's going to be it. I think we got one more console just to really push something that can do photorealistic graphics. But I think the problem is it, at least with this AMD hardware right now, this will be the last console. And then they might start branching out to other manufacturers, Intel, Nvidia, and such, because Nvidia with their DLSS, they're making the PC side of things do stuff that the PlayStation is trying to do, and PlayStation is really brute forcing its way to do, but you could do it a lot easier on the developer side and everything, of making those game engines just dance for you a lot easier if you have something like the AI that is built into DLSS, and you can also do ray tracing on a way better platform. It just comes down to, and this is actually something that Digital Foundry has talked about in video, which I agree with, majorly, is that it just takes Sony making a good deal with Nvidia. It just takes Microsoft making a good deal with Nvidia to make all the the pieces and parts come together to where you have more like a computer compact form thing in a box that is affordable to produce and also to buy. So to keep the price down there, it might go up to $600, but would you pay $600 for a console that can keep up with a PC in that current time frame right there? Because the thing is too with the PC is the PC master race will always be above the consoles. Well, in all honesty, right now, PC and console is pretty well dead set even. Maybe Unreal Engine 5 with photorealistic graphics and all that stuff might, if you get photorealistic visuals, you might have still the edge on PC. But right now, the only edge on PC that you have is something like AI ray tracing and DLSS that is frame reconstruction and all that stuff. That's really the biggest, the biggest draw that you have, outside of maybe also free online and mods. The console has really crept up on PC, especially this generation. And there's sometimes the PC version of a game engine isn't running as well on a lot of different setups of hardware, that it just runs on the PS5 because it's just a PS5 set of hardware. They can make it work on the PS5 set of hardware. Do you have quite as good visual quality? Maybe not, but you have it running. And really, in all honesty, if you're a PC user, you got to be honest with yourself. You have to bring down the settings on the game engine to make it work anyways, no matter if you have a $2,000 PC or you have a $500 PC. You're in the same boat as a console, where you have to, there's only so much resources and stuff that the engine can do in the game to balance it out and everything. So, is a PS5 Pro real? It's hard to say right now because we've only got leaks and rumors. Hopefully pretty soon we'll have at least a teaser. Sony say something. I think Sony right now is just riding the wave of, it's not a bad wave to ride. It's keeping everybody's attention on the brand. I think that's what they're riding though, is a wave of just like, oh, everybody's talking about is let the conversation keep going, because all it's do, and then we'll just keep marketing the newest, games like an Astrobot controller, or, these are the new games coming to PlayStation Plus, all that stuff. So, again, it's not terrible on Sony's part. They are delivering products. Whether you like an Astrobot controller or not, whether you like the games that are in PlayStation Plus, they're still delivering you a product. They're delivering you something that you can, potentially like and buy. So yeah, that's good. Again, hardware-wise, on new hardware-wise, I think I would be less surprised of a PlayStation 6 and be more surprised of a PlayStation 5 Pro in the future. I think, I don't know, like I said, my gut feeling says we might have like one more solid giant console, leap, because look at the PS4 to PS5. The biggest thing between the PS4 and the PS5 that has been the biggest upgrade is, yes, ray tracing has been, well, ray tracing is not actually the biggest thing. SSD, the fast loading speeds. PS4 Pro takes a while to load stuff. I have recently just been getting my PS4 back up and running again. It takes a while for that hard drive to load. PS5, it's right there. It just works. It just, you can just go. But yes, also ray tracing. Ray tracing is another major factor in all this stuff. And again, that's where I'm like, one more solid console that can do ray tracing on a higher level than even a PS5 Pro could do. Sure. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. By the end of the year, they'd be kind of close if they put out the PS5 Pro for Christmas time, for marketing wise and everything else, just to get everybody's attention on the product and then ship it and everything. We haven't even seen leaked SKUs of a PS5 Pro in stores and everything. Usually end up start seeing that stuff. If it happens, cool. But for right now, it's still kind of iffy in my book. It's still kind of up in the air on whether it is a true real thing or not. Just because YouTubers are saying it, I don't trust that. I trust the actual company itself to be like, hey, all right, we're working on this thing. Look at the PlayStation Portal. It's like they marketed that, I think, a couple months before. Again, we'll see. But, yeah. Anyways, we'll leave it there. Once again, too, it'd help out a lot if you hit the sub button. But, yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one. A Let's Talk video, another Let's Talk video in the books. And yeah, PlayStation, we got our eyes on you. So until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, I will see you next time.